Awkward Hairy Shoulders here, back with another video. I think it could be because of watching the Comic Con footage of Lars of the Stars, but it's really got me wanting more Steven Universe again. And because I'm really wanting to see it more, I'm thinking about it now, and I've come up with a few. I'm pretty sure they're theories. People could have already disproven them. Maybe it was like 6 months ago you guys talked about this. This is just me thinking about it now. If I'm the first, then cool. Tell me if you like it, or feel free, use the internet. Tell me I'm an idiot. Either way, nice to hear from you. Now, warnings. I might swear a little. I'm gonna try to keep the cussing to a minimum, so that way everyone can watch. And I will be maybe not intentionally going over plots of previous episodes and previous seasons of Steven Universe. And if you haven't seen them all up to date now, I just be careful watching my videos, because I don't mean to spoil stuff, because I'm one of those really, really weird people that spoilers actually don't hurt my enjoyment of the movies at all. I don't know why. I grew up in the 90s, because they always ruin movies in the trailers in the 90s, so I just kind of adjusted. But yeah, so that's it. Anyways, so let's. First thing I was thinking, and it's just something that dawned on me, that they now have Jasper's gem in a bubble in the shrine, and it just dawned on me because I was watching Alone at Sea again, how Jasper desperately wanted to become Malachite again with her, even though it was just a terrible time for both. And early in the episode, even, you hear Lapis say, "I missed it. I missed being Malachite with her because I could take all my dark side stuff out on her." And she's got a fairly decent dark side back to her. She's got a lot of anger issues to work through. But yeah, but I'm more thinking, what if there's still some sort of contact between Jasper's gem and Lapis, and that when they're all at the temple, it calls to Lapis, and Lapis somehow manages to get into the area with the gems all hanging above, and she sees Jasper's gem, and she knows it, because that used to be a part of her for a long time when they were struggling at the bottom of the ocean, which was really, really trippy the way they did it in Sheely Teed. It was so well done. Really, really, like, just the imagery was just amazing. But that's just my thoughts on that. But we all know how scary Malachite was, right? I mean, Malachite came very close to taking down Alexandrite. If it wasn't for those watermelon Stevens, and they turned the tide back towards Alexandrite, and that's why they won. But here's the cherry on top. We wouldn't just see Malachite again. We might see corrupted Malachite. That's bad. Very, very bad. A mindless, corrupted fusion of Lapis and Jasper. And I would love to. It would definitely be interesting, I think. But I do think that they're going to figure out a method of curing the corruption, and I don't think it's going to be. They're going to like how it happens. And one of the theories I was thinking is, well, Steven's got to heal it somehow, and we've seen that his tears, even his spit, because of the worm gem thing, it only heals it for a certain amount of time before going back to normal. But there's one other thing that Steven's never done with the corrupted gem, and we know he can do with gems now. He can fuse with them. Interesting, right? Because I'm wondering if the same principle applies to corruption that applied to the cages on the ship, the gem ship. Steven could walk right through them, no problem. Well, if it was he looked a little like he was tripping balls, but I mean, other than that, he was fine. But yeah, and I'm wondering if corruption worked the same way. Somehow he became the third in the fusion, and he manages to cleanse both of them at the same time before they unfuse, basically. Pardon me. Or it would be cool if we just see this weird shape appear, and then all of a sudden there's a bright flash of light, and Malachite and Jasper are both clean, and Steven's like on the floor unconscious. And they wake him, and they're worried about him. Turns out he's just it's a effect of the corruption. it has to come out of his system because he's got a normal human system that can do those kinds of things. So that's, I think, would be a pretty cool thing. And if somehow that actually managed to finally bring Jasper over to their side, that would be pretty cool. Because it would be really interesting to see if they could actually figure out Jasper and Sapphire, how Jasper could be like an older sister model for Sapphire, because Sapphire's never really had that, right? Well, to a degree, Garnet, but not really. I don't think. But I don't know. It'd just be really cool to see. But it would be interesting to see if Steven could start doing that. If he could go along the Earth, find the gems, fuse with them, and get rid of their corruption. Because then you know what they'd have? They'd have an army. Then you know what they have? They have a lion's mane. As far as they still know, even though the last spoilers, a lot of the stars say that they're in space and Lars is now a badass. But can you imagine them leading an army through Lion's Mane, out of Mars's head into the very center of the gem homeworld? That would be interesting because they'd have a lot of off-colors with them too, and it would be an interesting fight, I'm sure. But the only wild card there is we haven't seen White Diamond yet. I don't know what's going on there. I'm still trying to figure that one out. But anyways, and this is this next theory, it just came to me about 5 minutes before I made this video, and I didn't realize until I said it out loud to myself how much it could actually make sense. Now, we all know how Rose Quartz would protect her gems, the crystal gems, no matter what. She was their leader. She was going to protect them, and she was going to stop them from getting hurt. And admirably, she didn't just mean against enemies hurting them. She meant against even them hurting themselves. And I think that Rose Quartz somehow managed to arrange a meeting in private, no pearls, nothing, in private with Pink Diamond to try and negotiate peace. And she decided to bring Bismuth along with her, not knowing Bismuth now has the perfect opportunity to test out her new weapon, the Shattering Point. So they're talking, and suddenly, all of a sudden, right through her gem, Shattering Point. She just screams and bursts into light or whatever, and Rose Quartz is stunned, looking at her going, "What did you do?" And Bismuth says, "Taking care of Bismuth," or something like that. Just like, oh God, I hate that. It really makes my brain hurt. But the other thing that Rose Quartz would do, Rose Quartz would fight Bismuth and bubble her, sure, totally okay. But the other thing that I know Rose Quartz would do, you know she would. You can even see it in Steven. She took responsibility for what Bismuth did. She took the murder of Pink Diamond and told them the universe that she was the one that did it. Because it didn't make any sense to me during the trial. Even Steven couldn't figure. Even Steven said that. Well, I guess I used the Shattering Point, but Bismuth specifically said Rose Quartz never would use the Shattering Point, ever, because it's too. It's not. She doesn't want to kill them. She wants to make them understand, and that was why she was such a good leader, and that's where Steven gets his empathy from. He has empathy up the wazoo. It's just nuts. So the reasons why everyone has to love him eventually is because he'll always believe in them and always be there to try and help them. It's like, how would you hate someone like that? How? Explain it to me. But yeah, I know that Shattering Point theory, that really, a lot of things clicked into place when I thought about that. It was really weird. I don't know. The other thing I was thinking, it would be interesting to see, and I know it would never happen, unless there's a huge, and I'm talking like real big disagreement again inside Garnet with Ruby and Sapphire. And if they, So if they split again, what would happen if